Hi fellow pellet burners. Today we're going to talk about your draft fan operation and settings. Depending upon how you have your stove plumbed, your draft fan is going to respond differently in different types of burning situations. I recommend, as you know, to run your stove on automatic settings, both the draft fan, the auger assembly, and run your dampener at 1.25 inches pulled out. Under my installation, I've got a 4-inch Duravent stack that goes to a chimney that's approximately 30 feet high. Under certain circumstances, I can get a draft created out of that chimney, which will overrun the draft fan motor and system within this stove. And so I'm going to show you how to set up your draft fan, tune your draft fan to your exhaust stack if you have that problem. Now let me just tell you that under normal circumstances, your flame in your burn pot in between fuel drops should run from the lower setting. After the fuel drop, go up to, the flame should reach approximately 3/4 of the distance to the ceiling of your burn pot. So as your fuel burns down, the flame will lower, the fuel will drop, and your flame should come up to approximately 3/4 the height of your pot, burn pot assembly, or maybe even touching the roof of the burn chamber. So that's the ideal height setting you want. If you set your draft fan and set it up to where you're burning like a little blowtorch all the time inside that burn pot, what's going to happen is it's going to suck the heat. This heat is being sucked out of your burn chamber by the draft fan. You don't want to pull your heat out and run it up through the chimney. You want to keep as much heat in that burn chamber as possible. So that's the ideal flame setting that you should shoot for in that. Now, in one of my earlier videos tuning the Model 8500 stove, I talked about putting a magnetic temperature gauge on your door. At that particular time, we had a real reliable one. I have since then not been able to find a reliable magnetic temperature indicator. And I also stated in one of the videos that you need to pick up an infrared digital temp gun. Now this one will go up to about 750 degrees. This is necessary to tune your furnace and set up your set point heat ranges for heat setting 1 and 5. And what I recommend doing, if you haven't done it already, is start with a little notebook so you can keep track of the different types of fuels that you're running, the different heat settings that you're using with the fuel rates, and 3 key points. And the key points are very simple. You want to shoot the front side of your door, find the hot spot in that door. Mine is towards the center. You want to shoot the hot spot on your bonnet, which is right over here, coming out. And you want to shoot the top of your exhaust where it exits the stove. And we're going to show you those right now. Okay, now we're going to shoot the door. And this is the hot spot on my door right here. And as you can see, we're running about 329 degrees on this right now. Furnace is running, it's running on low, but it usually runs about in that area right there. We'll shoot the top of the bonnet, and the hot spot there is right about there. And as you can see, I'm putting on about 89 degrees on the bonnet, running at 329 door temp. And you'll come over here, shoot your exhaust right at the top where there's no insulation, and you can see my draft fan is putting out 102 degrees. And you can monitor those settings at every temp range that you have, PR 1 through 5, and know real quick if your unit is sucking out too much heat and get the most efficient burn. Now we'll move on over to the keypad, and I'll show you how to adjust the draft fan itself. Okay, we're going to set the draft fan perimeters now. The settings you want is C6 and C7. C6, the default setting range is from 150 to 500. C7, the default is 400 to 500. So you don't want to exceed those perimeters. Try to stay within those perimeters. And the way that you set them are very simple. Let's go right over to here, push mode and auger delay to get into your C settings. We're going to go up to 6. Push on. I'm running at 175. The default setting that normally comes with these stoves, for example, C6 is 216. For C7, 415. Now, the question is are all the default settings standard? Coming from US Stove? Probably not. So you want to check yours and see where they're running. Mine was set at 216, and it was pulling too much air out of the burn chamber. As you can see, I got it lowered down to 175. You want to set C6, set it up on your heat setting range PR1. Once you get the flame where you want it, you might not be able to get the flame to run 3/4 high to the top of the chamber, depending upon how much fuel you're putting in. Ideally, I like PR1 at 300 degrees on the door temp. Once you have your C6 set, you push on, go up to your heat range settings, and let's go to 7, push on. I'm running now at 400. Now 400 is the bottom of the default range for C7. According to the setting that I had with it, was 415. You might want to run a little higher setting, a little bit lower, depending upon your exhaust stack and what it's doing as far as flow wise. If you run in a 3-inch double wall, your flow is going to be less than a 4-inch double wall. I'm running a 4-inch double wall Duravent going to a 4-inch smooth stainless steel liner going up 25-30 feet. So tune your burn pot or your burn chamber and your flame to match your exhaust. And that should help you with controlling that. Remember, you start getting up to 190, 200 degrees, you're going to be tripping the high heat bump on that, because your RTD is going to be tripping at that setting. So you want to keep that heat inside your burn chamber, not pushing it out and raising your draft fan temp. The idea is to keep your draft fan temp as low as possible for the heat setting that you're running. So that's how you do that. You get done that, hit on, and then you can click off, and you're right back to your running temp. Good luck, and happy pellet burning.